So what is Bell's palsy? What are the symptoms and what's the recovery process like? Well, I've had Bell's palsy for 5 years, so thought I would jump on here and kind of tell my whole story over the past 5 years, kind of a one-stop shop for you to be able to watch, learn from my journey, and yeah, maybe you'll get something out of it. So if you're not a fan, be sure to like and subscribe. I jump on here occasionally, kind of talk, share a lot of your answers, talk about my journey or just little things that are going on in life. So be sure to like and subscribe. But let's get into it. So what is Bell's palsy and how has it impacted me? Well, 5 years ago, I posted this video. I can no longer move my right eyebrow up, having trouble speaking. Yeah, it's just kind of scary. That was the first video that I took with Bell's palsy. That was the morning after being diagnosed. On the day that I was diagnosed, it was later on in the evening, but that day I remember having a headache, and it really kind of started back here, which I would later find out that was actually the nerve that really impacted all of this. Had a headache, my eye was twitching, didn't think anything of it, it was just one of those days, I guess you could say. So I work in TV. At the time I was working in Denver, Colorado. Of course, throughout the day, things would become more stressful, usually up until showtime, which was later on in the evening. So as we got closer to showtime, more stress was happening. And I just remember my head just really, really pounding back here. And then my eye just kept twitching more and more until after the show ended. I walked to the car and I remember my eye just really kind of feeling like it wasn't fully shutting. So I looked in the mirror and I noticed that it wasn't shutting. I couldn't fully close it. I could see the white of my eye, and then also my lip was drooping, and I freaked out, went home, saw my wife, and she right away diagnosed me with Bell's palsy. So just, to be sure, we went to the ER, and I remember going in and us waiting about 20-30 minutes inside the ER waiting for the doctor to come in, and as soon as he came in, he looked at me and said, "Yep, you have Bell's palsy." I was like, "You sure you don't need to run any tests or anything like that?" And, no, pretty sure it's Bell's palsy. He told me it would take 10 days. He gave me 10 days worth of steroids to take. 10 days really flew by, and sure enough, I still had Bell's palsy at the end of it. Actually, it was even worse than it was whenever I first went in. At this point, I was unable to really hold down water without losing liquid. I couldn't brush my teeth. Sleeping, my eyelid would not fully close, so I had to end up taping the eyelid, which only lasted a few days, to be honest, because I was a parent. I had a newborn, and just waking up and everything with the eye patch was very challenging. So it just lasted very shortly. As you can tell, I have glasses now. I did not have glasses then, so I'm not sure if that correlated or not. But anyways, after the 10 days, I still had Bell's palsy. We ended up going and getting an MRI and make sure that everything was fine. The MRI came out, everything was clear. So I was told about a specialist shortly after that specialized in Bell's palsy, face paralysis, and things like that would be perfect for me to go and talk to. So as soon as I went in and chatted with her, we kind of came up with a game plan for this next chapter of my journey. And it was really kind of just, let's start on shock treatment. Let's do once a week for the next month, and let's see if we can kind of get that nerve, really kind of jumpstart that nerve to really start communicating again. So that's what we did. Once a week, I would go in and I would do shock therapy, all around, hitting different nerves throughout the face. At the end of the month, I was not much improvement. I still really could not feel or move this side of the face at all. By that point, I was just kind of exhausted mentally. And whenever I was first diagnosed with Bell's palsy, that was one thing I did not expect or know anything about, was the emotional side of things, of the emotional toll it would have on you as an individual. And if you're watching this and you're just now, in your battle, that is one thing that I have come to learn, is that, you have to have a good support system, because there are days that you will see yourself in the mirror, days that you take a photo and it's not you. And those are the ones those are the days to be able to have that support system. My wife, my kids, my family, to be able to kind of huddle around during those moments. Since coming down with Bell's palsy, I've learned how to smile differently. I've learned what side was my good side, what side's my bad side when it comes to family photos or anything like that. Today I'm on TV, so I know to position myself over here more towards the camera because I have more control than something over here that I do not really have all that much control over. So in the last 5 years, like I said earlier, I have glasses. The weirdest thing that happens to me is whenever I eat anything, good or bad, hot, not hot, cold, ice cream, it could be anything that I eat, I do end up tearing, which is weird. And I remember the doctor telling me, because it was more of a tear duct issue, that whenever we were trying to regain the feeling and the movement back in the face, it was physical therapy, and it was just like wires being crossed. And she said that that's one of the things that could happen, is that you could have tears. It's your tear ducts that are kind of out of whack. So I'm curious, if you have anything like that, please comment below, or if there's anything else that you're experiencing, comment. I would love to see that and kind of keep that community going in the chats. Meeting people, they tell me that they could never tell that I've had Bell's palsy, but it's one of those things that will always live with me, because I can always see it. It's just not where it was, and it probably never will be, and I'll always notice something about it, and that's okay. I've come to love it, come to find a new way to smile. I've come to glasses, learning to live with glasses, learning to love the tears and wipe the tears and stuff like that whenever I eat. But overall, it is part of my journey, and one thing that I did find very helpful through this was just sitting down and sharing my story with you and with others. Not only I hope it helps you, but I do know that it helps me, and I hope that you take something out of my story. I hope it encourages you to share your personal story as well, because I think it's important. The other thing that really kind of got me through it was really just staying busy. And I remember there was a span after probably about a couple of months with Bell's palsy that I just got really busy with work, with life, being a husband, being a dad. And next thing I know, I look up a few months down the road and I was like, oh yeah, like it's looking better. And I think that was the number one thing that I realized, was staying busy was really important through all of this. Because I remember whenever I first got it, it was just, I was always looking at myself, especially doing these videos. I was always reminded of the Bell's palsy. And I remember I took like a week off of work right whenever I was first diagnosed, and just to get over things emotionally and things like that, and kind of go through doctor's visits and make sure that I was good. I was on steroids and stuff at the time. And whenever I went back to work, it was all over again, of explaining what Bell's palsy was, and you could tell that people noticed you look different, and which is okay, but it's just, those are little things that remind you. So staying busy, kind of forgetting about those little things, makes the time pass by a lot quicker. So anyways, where are you at in your journey? I want to know. Comment below. If you're new to the page, be sure to like and subscribe. I will definitely jump on here and answer some questions moving forward. Anything like that I can help you in your journey, be sure to ask below. So until next time.